name is Robert Rufo. I am a lower baritone, and I'm one of the original members of the chorus from 1978. Yes, I do remember that. There was just talk of some strange disease. Stories were starting to pop up in the press about this. And you have to remember that there were other crises going on at the time. I mean, there were health crises in the gay community, lots of STDs, herpes was a big scare. Plus, we were dealing with discrimination, violence. It was just another thing on our plate, you know. And so for a long time, we were not taking this too seriously. It was just another thing we were dealing with. There was a lot of denial at first. There really was. I mean, you have to remember that this was just a few years after thousands of gay people had moved to the Bay Area to start to form community. Sexual liberation was part of that. So there was a lot of that going on, and people were reluctant to just stop with their sexuality. And some people thought this thing was a hoax, you know, that they were just trying to get gay men to not have sex. This was some kind of an attack in our community. And it took them a long time when their friends started dying, then they realized, you know, this is for real. It's not a hoax. And this is really happening. I mean, it had a huge impact in the chorus. In a sense, we were lucky in that San Francisco was ground zero of this whole terrible thing. And the chorus was like a microcosm of the larger community. There were a lot of different kinds of men from different parts of the gay community. So it was a good way of tracking what was happening with this. And the death toll was small at first, but as it started getting larger and larger, you would come to rehearsal every Monday night and there would be 3 or 4 more guys in the hospital with something terrible, or another person had died that week. And this just went on and on for years. It was a terrible toll. Well, the 5th section was created to honor the people in our chorus who had died of AIDS. And it just grew larger and larger. Now it's over 200 people in there now. Well, the community in general was stepping up. I mean, we just had to deal with a huge caseload. And our way of stepping up was, well, you had to take care of all these people who were sick. I mean, I kind of look back on that and I wonder how I made it through with my sanity intact. There were so many, you could not have a breakdown. Those who were well had to take care of those who were not well. And there were so many people I was taking care of. Shopping for this guy, take this guy to the hospital. This guy's parents are coming, hide all the pornography. You know, I mean, it was, there was just so much going on that you were so busy, you know, you were very busy. Well, you know, since this is Pride Month, I would tell them, the younger folks, that you're part of a very strong community that went through the worst. And remember, at this time, it's not like COVID now, where people who have COVID have lots of sympathy and support. People who had AIDS did not have support. The larger community was not interested in helping us. They were bashing us. They thought this was our punishment. They were saying terrible things to us. And so we were on our own. We were very much on our own. And one thing I would say, the women's community, I have to put in a word for the women's community, the lesbian community. They really stepped up for us. Gay men could not donate blood. The women's community stepped forward and did that. They were our caretakers when others shunned us and would not take care of us. A good word for the women's community. They were the best. I think we learned what family was really about. I mean, we all have our biological families, some of whom were supportive and some were not. Your chosen family is the ones who really stepped forward for you. I mean, some of these people, just when they needed their families the most, their families turned their backs on them. So they had, the gay community was all they had. And so we had to come forward for them. We had to take care of them. Yeah, you know, the young folks, they have to know this history. I mean, your community's been through the worst. They're a really strong community, and you have a lot to be proud of. Talk to the older members. They'll tell you about this period in our history. You know, I would say also, during even the worst of the times, it was so bleak and so horrible. There was always time to have good times. The discos were still going. Thank God, if you were taking care of all these people, you had to de-stress and go out and dance and have a good time and laugh, and all of that never stopped, even during the worst of times. And of course, you could always come on Monday night and sing with the guys, hold on to each other, and that's how we got through it.